This is the movie machine, and all you need to do is upload your book, upload your script, any story, and using AI will make a full-length movie or show right for you, all while giving you full control throughout the process. And this isn't something that takes weeks or months, not even days, but the movie machine can actually make a movie from a full-length book, from a script, in under an hour. Now, actually speedrunning this whole process in under an hour would be pretty wild, but the technology can do it. It's just if you are ready to go through it that quickly as a director. So I want to actually walk through how the movie machine works and how it's really changing filmmaking and help enable individual storytellers and one person studios to rise and ultimately create this new movement that we're calling Creatorwood, where you don't need Hollywood execs, Hollywood budgets, or Hollywood studios to approve your story and get it made into film anymore. Now, all you need is a passion, a laptop, and a story idea, and your story can see the world. It can be on screen in any format you'd like. You can see here that you upload your story file just from your computer, and then you can choose comic book, you can choose anime, photorealistic as your style preset. The style preset is essentially the style that you want your film to be made in. So a lot of folks ask us, like, is it just for animation? Is it just for realistic content? The truth is it's for everything. You could even do sketch content or black and white content. Anything's really possible here. And we're going to constantly be trying to experiment with adding new style presets over time too, so that you can create the films and bring the stories to life that you want to see. So all you need to do is enter a title, your story file, and you're set. And this whole process costs 200 tokens, which is under $50 to do at least all the storyboarding and character generation. Now, I want to walk you through the steps of the movie machine because we don't just create your characters, we don't just make your storyboards. We do all of that, and the movie machine also makes your film for you and allows you to edit it if you would like, which I'm sure you would like to edit some parts of it, all in one place, all in one platform. And you can do all of this. Like I said, you can make a full movie, full show in less than a day and for just a couple $1,000s. And if you don't want to make a full movie or full show, that's fine. You can create a single episode for a couple $100 or sometimes even less than that and do it even faster and then roll that out, get it out to audiences, see if people like it, then narrate from there. Oh, just I'm so excited. And we're moving into beta now. And what you see here is some awesome movies are going to be made, but it's just the beginning because there's going to be so much more amazing movies made as this technology keeps getting better. So whatever you see now, like this is the movie machine you're seeing and it's incredible. But I just want you to remember, this is the worst it's ever going to be. And it's only going to get better and more powerful from here, which is incredible, like exponentially more powerful over the next year to couple years and maybe even faster than that. So with that said, this unlocks a whole new world of opportunities. And on Creatorwood, not only do we have the movie machine, but we also have a streaming platform where you can actually take your show and upload it straight to our platform. This is the streaming platform that's also part of Creatorwood. So the movie machine helps you turn your stories into films such as shows and movies. And then the streaming platform is where you can actually upload and monetize. So you can start to see our shows that were uploaded during our alpha period here. And I'm going to share with you in a bit the story of how this all came to be because it seems all nice and beautiful now, but it was anything but that when we actually get back to why this all happened. And I'm just so grateful for you all and the community that's helped us make this because this really all was shaped by your feedback. But when we see here the main streaming platform, when you create something in the movie machine, you own full rights to it. So you can upload it anywhere, whether it be Creatorwood, YouTube, or any other platform. You own the rights to it, it's yours. But what we noticed, and in fact, we noticed this even before the movie machine, is that when it comes to independent filmmaking online, the incentive model is kind of broken. You can charge for content on the Shopify store, but it's not a great viewer experience. And then if you're actually going to be doing it on YouTube and posting there, you're going to need to get millions of views to make decent revenue. And even though it's remarkably cheaper to produce a film now, literally like 10,000 times cheaper compared to traditional filmmaking means with Hollywood, using something like the movie machine, it could still cost a couple $1,000s as of right now to produce a movie. And in order to make that money back in AdSense, you might need to get 1 million views in your movie. That's a lot. That's crazy. Yes, I'm sure many of you can get millions of views in your movies, but for many of you, that's going to be a tall order. But what if you sold 1 million books, right? I remember when I was 15, I started self-publishing my own sci-fi novels, and selling 1 million books literally would have changed my life. Would have mean millions of dollars in my pocket. So how come you could get 1 million views on YouTube and make a couple $1,000s, yet I can sell 1 million copies of a book and get a couple $1,000,000. That's a very big difference. So that's when we realized that we need to build a platform that allows folks to interact with films and buy seasons and movies, just like you would go purchase other fictional episodic content you love. Likewise, we need a place that actually is catered to episodic and fictional content. Hence, that's where Creatorwood comes in, because we're not trying to optimize an algorithm where you're just scrolling from one video to the next with no sort of coherency. We're all about, okay, how can we get someone into a story and have them pay and really love something time and time again, so they want to come back week after week to watch more and more of that show. That's really the insight of Creatorwood. It's a platform that's custom built to run a movie and show business, unlike YouTube, which is built for vlogging and education, all these other great things, or TikTok, which is short form video. This is the platform for movies and shows, which is where Creatorwood can be really interesting. And what makes Creatorwood special is we provide amazing data. You literally can see exactly how long people are watching your films, your completion rate for each episode, and you'll be able to know, okay, great, this episode's performing well. They're moving on to the next episode, or this episode isn't performing well, I should adjust it. Viewers purchase tokens from the platform. You get 80% of the revenue that your shows make. So you charge for your show in tokens. You can pay for episodes anywhere from 10 cents all the way up to $100. And anywhere in that, you get 80% of the revenue. What we do with the 20% that we keep at Creatorwood is about half of that goes to payment processing fees. And then there's a good bit in there that's going to video server costs. And then we have a support team and the support costs. So then, what's left over, we keep to really reinvest in growth into the platform. But you really get to keep the lion's share, not only of the revenue, but you also get your customer data, because, and this is huge, you can get all your followers and their emails and export them from Creatorwood. So whenever someone pays for a film, you're not trapped in this platform. You literally have control, because you have the emails of your customers to have a direct relationship with your viewers. So it's really about not just being a social platform, but truly being a space where you can build your film business, that you have control over the creation, start to stop with the movie machine, and of course, control over your relationship with your customers, what you're charging, and how much you're making. And this is what makes Creatorwood really unique, because again, you can make these shows, and in each show, you can add new episodes, add new pricing for episodes, unpublish episodes, and republish them all in one place. So Creatorwood is like really the platform that's built for the future of where filmmaking is going and where the future of storytelling is going, where we're going this revolution where video is becoming accessible to anyone. And just like we used to tell stories speaking, and then we tell stories writing down, now we can tell stories just natively through video. And we're helping you create these incredible long form stories all in one home. It's just so cool to me. And I am incredibly just pumped and excited to finally be at the time where we can start to show that. Like, all of what you just saw on screen, that's the first time I'm actually sharing that with the world. So if you're watching this video, you're probably one of the first people actually in on this and seeing what this is, and in on the future of an industry that's going to help storytellers make tens of billions of dollars a year in short order, because the market's huge. Audible does tens of billions of dollars a year in revenue just in audiobook sales. If we look at like the independent ebook and self-publishing market, that's billions of dollars a year. And film is a much bigger market. Much more people love film and watch film regularly, which is why there's going to be tens of billions of dollars made by independent storytellers here. And I don't think this necessarily eats away at Hollywood either, because Hollywood could still have their big productions. Hollywood only makes about 600 productions a year between all of Hollywood, 600 productions. That's not a lot. Whereas here, we have an opportunity to make hundreds of thousands of productions a year. And some will get lots of viewership, some will get somewhere in the middle. But what's great is that you don't need 1 million viewers to make a living. Just 1,000 viewers could actually be a very reasonable return on a film. 10,000 viewers could be life-changing money, especially if you're charging $10 or $20 for a movie or for a season of television. And maybe you can make 3 or 4 a year now, because you're not limited by needing a large film crew. The movie machine can make it possible to make a season of television theoretically in under a day for sure, but definitely in under a week of work, you could have a full thing done easily. Under a week of work, working part-time at night, you could get it done. It's just amazing. And before I keep just ranting about this, let me just say that we have the help guides for Creatorwood at help.creatorwood.tv. We publish 50 help guides there in preparation for going into beta. We are like locked and ready for this launch, and we're prepared to serve you, and we're just excited. So that's the first thing. The second thing is I think I need to share how this all came to be because Creatorwood is really, it's my passion, it's our passion, but it's not something that just came to be overnight. Obviously, this is not built overnight. My co-founder is incredible. He built the technology behind all this. There's a longer story of how we got here and what our real mission is at Creatorwood, which is to help storytellers of the world, and why now. So let's go back in time to when I was publishing books. I was in high school. I've been in the self-publishing space now for 8 years. I self-published my first science fiction book right when I turned 15. I was able to get a job when I was 15, so I was able to save up money to afford an editor and co-designer for my book. And I spent $4,000 getting my first book published. Self-published it. I overpaid for quite a few parts of the process because I was learning. Typically after that, I paid around $1,000 to get my book published. But you got to learn first time. And it was great. I launched my book. I made back $120 the month I launched. All copies sold to family and friends. And I was clueless. I had no idea what to do. Marketing, the business of all this was so confusing to me. So I just sat down and I kept writing. I wrote book 2, I wrote book 3, or at least those. And then I started to think to myself, I've written 3 books now. Is this going to be something I really want to turn into a career that I really want to make a living on? And the answer was undoubtedly yes. My 2 favorite things in the world were storytelling and technology. And I was writing science fiction books about technology in the near future and was basically getting to be part of this whole indie storytelling technology revolution with ebooks. So yes, I wanted to do this. And this was back in really 2017 to 2018 when I had this realization. I dove headfirst. I worked my job. I was basically like every hour of the day either trying to get good grades after school, work my job, and then I saved up as much money as I could and plowed it back into my publishing business. And I literally spent well over $10,000, nearly $20,000 out of pocket in my publishing business while in high school. I was fortunate that I had a pretty good job serving to be able to help me do that. I was fortunate that I had a very supportive mom, single mom that is so just a rock star. And she saw my dream and wanted me to go for it. So I did. And literally growing up, things were tight and it wasn't like we had a great middle class upbringing, but it wasn't like we had extra money for crazy vacations or to get me and my brother a car growing up. So when I was driving to like going to work, it was understood that I'd buy my car and that I'd have to do that. And I grew up in an area where there wasn't really any public transit in South Carolina. So my mom literally knew that if I was spending money in a car, I would not be able to spend the money in my books. So she would drive me to work and she never asked for payment and she never even asked for gas money because she knew that if she helped me save more of the money at my job, that it would go back into my business. And it did. But all of it went on fire for the most part. I made back a very small amount of that. I sold roughly $10,000 of the books and out of pocket had a cost out of $10,000. Published 12 books in high school. And although I loved it, I learned a lot about the business. I started really realizing where I went wrong with my marketing, which is like a book unto itself. And I started realizing that maybe there was a better way for me to get myself out there. So I started experimenting with video. Started a YouTube channel when I became a freshman at Harvard. Literally, like my first day moving into classes at Harvard, COVID had started. And I was literally just like fucking filming. It was so crazy. I was like, all right, we're vlogging now. And I'm like a sci-fi author coming to school. And I was like, all right, this is my chance. This is my chance to drive people to my books. Maybe they'll be interested in me. They'll be interested in the life behind my story. And I did drive some sales with my books. What was more surprising was that I was able to get nearly 10,000 subscribers to my channel after 2 months and literally made $2,000 in AdSense. Basically, that was all profit. And as you can tell, my book business wasn't very profitable. So I was like, what? I'm making profit from this? I'm making profit from my YouTube videos. Really, like only after doing this for 2 or 3 months, I was shocked. All of this transpired into me doubling down on YouTube. Ended up interning for one of the biggest YouTubers on the platform. I then got a live streaming deal with a startup called Airtime. They're still around, but the app really isn't the same as it was anymore. But at the time, I was doing multiplayer live streaming, doing scavenger hunt and manhunt in different cities across the country. I was super immersed in the world of online video and was actually able to make a full-time living doing this for about 9 months. After that period, I knew that my passion was evolving, and I was seeing the broader world of the creator economy and all this interesting tech on the video side. And I knew that I wanted to help bring better tech to storytellers, specifically the people I love most, which are writers. I started a company while I was in college. It was named Jane Friedman's number one publishing startup of the year in 2023. We grew it, bootstrapped it to helping authors make millions of dollars a year in memberships. And when I graduated college, parted ways and worked for Mr. Beast. I was the right-hand man to his right-hand man. So I was on the I was working with the chief strategy officer there, and I was on the basically strategy and data team. And I was helping try and make the videos go more viral, managing platform relationships, understanding where YouTube's going, understanding where Prime's going, and just understanding the future of this all and seeing how can Mr. Beast grow in it. But of course, part of understanding the future was understanding these upcoming technologies and understanding these upcoming tools. And myself, I'm a founder, and I'm sure I'd run my own business for 7 years before joining Mr. Beast. And I knew even when I was at Mr. Beast that I was going to have to start my own business again one day. And it became clear to me that my passion is for writers. I needed to come back and be with you. I'll be with whether it's screenwriters, whether it's authors, honestly, just storytellers in general. I love storytellers. I knew I need to come back to the world of storytelling. I need to be with all of y'all. But I didn't know what I was going to do. So I started a newsletter called Author Sidekick at authorsidekick.com. And the whole purpose of it was to help storytellers market their books and stories, hence Author Sidekick. So I created this deck of cards, which you can get for free. That's 50 superpowers about how to market your books. And I basically poured out all of my business knowledge, like everything I had messed up, like from the age of 15 to 18, I had rewrote those wrongs, helped other people make really good money, worked with the biggest creator in the world, and now was distilling all of my marketing knowledge about storytelling into an actual novel creation process of how you can, what I call readers first, right? Sell your story before you write it, validate your concept, and save a lot of money along the way and do really good things for readers. But in the process, I also have always been a futurist. So I've been looking beyond the book at different ways authors can make money, expand their IP. And it's something that I saw at Mr. Beast firsthand, because at Mr. Beast, we didn't even make most of our money from the videos. Most of the money came from chocolate. So I was constantly thinking about how can we help storytellers expand their pie and expand into new businesses, revenue streams. And of course, I was looking very closely at all these different AI technologies coming out. I'll be honest with you, none of it super excited me because AI writing tools I think are cool, by the way, useful for many. But at the same time, it doesn't really disrupt the industry in a big way, because do AI writing tools lead to people reading more? Okay. And then if AI writing tools aren't leading to people reading more, it's not going to increase the pie of money coming in. So then the other question is, does AI writing allow the market to change and new people to break in? I think so. It can, and that could be a good thing. But also, it was marginally cheap to produce a book to begin with, roughly $1,000. And professional novelists, myself included, were able to write a book in under a month. So yes, speeding that process up is huge, but it's not disruptive to the market, because producing a book in a month versus 2 weeks versus a week, getting a book out for a couple $100 versus $1,000, or maybe even $50 is great. For an individual storyteller, it's amazing, but it's not like a massive disruption. So it didn't really change a lot of how I saw publishing going. I just saw it being something that could be beneficial for some or something to ignore for others. And I stayed out of the fray. AI video was different. I saw it and immediately understood that there was something bigger here. Specifically, authors Novi Callum and Cassie Alexander were doing incredible things. They were using AI video to market their books. And when I saw this, I was like, oh my, yeah, that's it. That's it. That makes so much sense. Instead of me pimping out myself on YouTube and vlogging my life, I can just share my actual characters online using these AI video tools, and bang, bada bang, there we go. I can now have video online marketing my books. But that's short-sighted, because that's just step one. They started doing really well. Their ads were performing well. Their content was performing well. People loved these videos and were buying their books because of these videos. But if we can put characters in videos, if we can have them start talking, and we could start stringing multiple of these videos together so that we could go from 5 seconds to 50 to 5 minutes to 50 minutes. All of a sudden, we aren't talking about just advertising books anymore. We're talking about turning books into movies, the beginning of it. And I immediately saw the business opportunity here. We're taking something that normally if I was to get this book turned into a movie, would cost millions of dollars at least. If not, at bare minimum, if we're doing it like scrape and buy, $100,000. Amount of money that I do not have to my name and disposable cash. I could tell you that's a lot of money to have just laying around to be able to put into a book. Tell you that 9% of people, definitely 99% of people, don't have that kind of money. And even if you did have that money, would you know how to use it? Because that's very hard to just get a whole filmmaking crew together. Super hard, right? Making sure that it's distributed. You want to try and make your money back. How are you going to make $100,000 back? You're going to get into movie theaters? You're going to get into Netflix? Just crazy. So I was like, y'all, these tools are going to make it possible for people to make movies for thousands of dollars, not hundreds of thousands, thousands of dollars. That's an amount that's achievable for a lot more people. It's not nothing, but it's achievable for a lot more people. And now, instead of there being 600 movies made a year, what if we could make 100,000 movies or shows a year? We now disrupt the market in a huge way, because it used to be that the only way to make a movie perform successfully was to make at least $10 million, sometimes $100 million, at least a couple $1,000,000, even for smaller budget films. But now, if a film can still be successful, even if it only makes $100,000, we can have more content that still is financially profitable and sustainable. So we could have more people make a living in this industry, and we could have more people watching content more, because they're going to love watching movies and shows that are more niche for them. Because yeah, if you're creating for a broad audience, then you have to target a broad audience. But if you're targeting a niche audience, you can go super deep with people and create things for different fandoms, different interests, different locations and settings and genres that would not have been made before. It's making all the stuff that Hollywood never would have. And I saw this revolution already happen in indie publishing when the cost of creation went down, specifically the cost of getting a new title to market because of ebooks. Publishers, the gatekeepers, lost a lot of power. And my mission's always been to give power to storytellers, because myself as a storyteller, I had faced so many issues feeling powerless in the face of these platforms. Not only Amazon, which gave me very little data and very little understanding into my business as an author, but also YouTube, where even though I got discovery and lots of money from YouTube, the algorithm itself became an addiction for me that literally almost led to me losing my life, because I was willing to risk my life to try and go viral. And that loop of trying to just go viral and feeling like that was the only way just to get a lot of clicks, a lot of views, made me, again, feel so powerless as a storyteller. And it got me into some very dangerous situations, which is probably a story for another day. But what I want you to know is that at the end of the day, storytellers are the ones who rule the world. The book Story Paradox talks all about this. It's by Jonathan Gottschall, book that changed my life. When he finally used those words, storytellers rule the world together, which is from Plato, right? I was like, oh my God, he's right. And these platforms have tried to convince us that's not true. People in our lives trying to convince us that's true. But what would we be without stories? There would be nothing without stories. Stories bring us all together. Stories make the world go round. And now I'm telling you that there's an opportunity to share so many more stories of the world that never would have been shared before in this medium. And that story could be yours, because your story deserves to be seen. That's our mission. That's what we're going to do together with Creatorwood and the Movie Machine. But it wasn't clear to me yet what was happening. Just tremendous excitement that there's a revolution coming and that we need to be in the middle of it, because I saw something that most people didn't, which is that what happened in the publishing market is now going to happen in movies and film, because with the cost of creation going down, the gatekeepers, aka Hollywood, is going to lose power, and creators are going to gain power. And in this new world, we're going to open up a massive amount of new opportunity for people, where just like in indie publishing, there was an explosion of new genres, an explosion of titles that never would have been published before that now have succeeded. The same thing is going to happen in film. And I wanted to help power that. I wanted to help you all succeed in that and bring the future forward to today. That day is now. At least we're releasing into beta now. And if you join the beta list at make.creatorwood.tv, you have a very good chance of getting in very soon. And we'll probably be released to the whole world in the next couple of weeks, which is super, super duper exciting. But doesn't explain how we got to the Movie Machine. Because I'll be honest with you, that was not the initial idea. The initial idea was we want to help people build a business. There's other AI video tools out there, so they'll just go use these different video tools and come back to us and then upload their films. Then we'll help them make money from it, help them build a business around it, and create this whole new ecosystem. So we built that. Sashva, my amazing co-founder, he launched it end of May with me. I started sharing it with a bunch of people early June, and I was like, amazing. I had the best reaction to anything I've ever created in my life. People were so pumped. I was very pumped. I was like, this is the moment. This is our moment. But no one was uploading movies. People wanted to, but they're having a lot of trouble creating movies. So we started to try and teach them how to do it. You could go use this tool and go use that tool. And even the first edition of the Creatorwood book literally was all about helping you do that. But we learned that people weren't doing it. Like, we told them all the tools to use, we told them how to use it. People still weren't making movies. Why? Because it was going to take 100 hours plus, easily, if not hundreds of hours. And even though it wasn't going to be super expensive, it was going to still take a lot of time just to even learn the different tools, bounce back and forth between 5 or 6 different platforms. This audio tool, this video tool, this thing. It was a mess. And we realized something, that these filmmaking tools are built assuming that you're a filmmaker. My goal is not to help filmmakers rule the world, although I love filmmakers and many storytellers are filmmakers. I want to help storytellers rule the world. And you can be a writer and not be a filmmaker, right? So then how do we help writers make films without having to learn filmmaking? And that's when the vision of the movie machine came to life. And we've spent the last 2 months pretty much almost every waking hour working on the movie machine, and now we're ready to unveil it, which I just shared with you in the beginning. There'll be many more updates to share, many more outputs as people actually start using it and seeing what people create in real time, which we're so excited for. The movie machine come from just the simple fact that we literally saw that everyone wanted to make a movie. Technically, the technology is there to do it, but no one was actually doing it because it was too challenging. So the movie machine is, how do we reduce friction and make it way, way easier, 10 to 100 times faster compared to even AI? Like, how do we get way faster than even what you would do using other AI tools, and make it custom built for making movies and shows? And you don't have to be a writer, you don't have to be a filmmaker. You just have to be a writer. You just have to be a storyteller. So that's what we did. And that's why the movie machine has these parts. We ingest your story, we understand everything about it, and using your story, we're able to create storyboards that have every single shot and scene. We're able to create all of your characters. We're able to create all of your locations and settings while giving you control in the process, that you can act as the director and edit the character notes, so that you can focus on the story and change the storyboard if you want to, because it's your story. And then we run all those shots, create the movie for you, or create the show, whatever you'd like it to be. And then you can edit it in one place very simply by making some shots shorter, because sometimes the clip might have extra space in the end. You want to shorten it a little bit, change clips, regenerate these shots all in one place. You don't need to learn a million different tools. You just need to learn Creatorwood. And all this is so fast because we're processing this all so that we can literally go from ingested story to all of your storyboards done, which saves you at least, like, honestly, dozens of hours, sometimes 100 plus hours. We do all of this in minutes. It's done. Then you could go and edit it, make all your videos, and generate one scene at a time, all in one place, all in one timeline. No complicated moving files around, no loading other tools. It's amazing. And we do all this as well while giving you the access to the best quality tools and pricing. Because Creatorwood, we do have some of our own AI that we're building, but mostly we work with other AI tools, integrate with their platforms, use their tools, their APIs, all under the hood. So this just happens automatically. And we dynamically route requests to models that give you the cheapest and best output depending on your shot. So we can understand what's going to happen in your video and then literally give you the best possible quality for the cheapest possible price always. That is, like, wild. So Creatorwood can actually help you save money compared to using other tools outright, because we're dynamically routing requests to the cheapest and best model for whatever the task is. And over time, Creatorwood's just going to get better, cheaper, and faster. The movies are going to continue to proliferate, and together we're all going to be able to create this revolution in filmmaking, where now movies and TV shows and creating them will be accessible to everyone, to every storyteller on the planet. That technology is here now. That technology is the movie machine, and you can now be a part of this with us. I am incredibly excited. I'm so grateful. It's just the coolest thing I've ever done. It's the coolest thing I've ever been able to work on, and it's all because of you all. If you all didn't jump on this early, if you all didn't give us the feedback, if you all haven't been here to support us, this would literally be impossible. So I'm just so grateful to have you with us. If you have any questions about the movie machine, please let me know. I can't go into every little detail about the platform in this podcast/video. I just wanted to do a deep dive into how things work. To be super transparent about our business model, how we do things is we charge you essentially for the model cost that we're paying other third-party providers. We charge a little bit of an upcharge on it, but it's not much. And we're really just doing the passing on these model costs, because if we didn't charge for movie creation, we would be losing $1,000 in each movie, because oftentimes when we're working with VO or Seed Dance, it's $1, sometimes a couple dollars just to produce one shot. And it's really worth it compared to filming a shot in traditionally. Some certain shots can cost tens of thousands of dollars. Even with VFX, one shot can be like $100,000 in some movies. It's radically cheaper, but we obviously want to make sure we are running a sustainable business and can help you create more movies for many years to come. So that's why we do have to charge up front for that. And then we also do charge when you sell movies in the platform. But again, it's not because we're trying to double dip. It's because we have to pay out payment processors, which is typically 10%, video server costs. Like, it costs money to serve up every single video. And then, of course, we have support team costs, anti-fraud costs, all these other mess, taxes, all these mess that goes into running a platform that you don't have to deal with. We deal with it. I've run platforms before. This is not my first rodeo. So this is what we deal with behind the scenes. We do, of course, try and make sure we have some money left over in that to be able to reinvest into the platform and growing the team and growing the viewership. But we really give you the best possible deal. And because we have the movie machine and the platform in one place, we're actually able to give you better deals because we're able to have a full ecosystem where you can create a better product, a better ecosystem that's simpler for you and at better pricing. So having this all in one place is like great for us because it allows us to like simplify things for you. It allows us to create a full stack ecosystem where we can serve you in multiple ways and provide you the best possible experience at the best possible price. So that's really our goal here. And again, we literally save you so much time in this process. We help make it so much easier. And I think we're making this filmmaking revolution possible because without this, we saw firsthand that people weren't doing it. But with this, we're really excited to finally open up a machine that makes movie making possible to the everyday storyteller. Okay. With that said, hope you all have an amazing rest of your day. Please reach out if you have questions at hello@creatorwood.tv. I'll be sharing more demos in the coming days. We'll be getting really excited to gear up for our big creator movie machine launch. We're going to be having like a launch part 2 later in the year as we launch like the platform publicly to viewers and do some PR around that, although it's open to viewers now. But we want to really get more content on the platform first, learn more about the movie machine, and then we're going to be doing a more public launch to viewers, public facing, that is, which we're so excited for. So if you're early and here now, you are part of something that is going to be so special. People are going to be talking about this decades from now, and they might just be talking about your movie and show that ends up being created. So we're in this together. So grateful to have you here. And as always, don't forget, your story deserves to be seen.